Well, listen, joining us now on the line is a man who's been talking about immigration for a long time. He wants to be the next president of the United States. Rick Santorum is with us. Good morning, Senator.
Morning, Brad. How are you this
All right,
morning?
you were talking about immigration long before anybody else was talking about it. Are you glad to see this discussion?
I am. First off, it's a very important issue in this country for a lot of working men and women who are seeing their wages flatline, seeing their job opportunities diminished, because we have had 35 million people in the last 20 years, more than any time in any period in history, come into this country and suppress labor markets and really create a lack of opportunity for a lot of people. And you have a lot of other issues related to immigration, but the overwhelming one that affects most Americans is the fact we've had this huge influx, and no one's taken a step and said, "Wait a minute, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Should we be calibrating this?" And I've been talking about this for a long time, and it's good to see that the rest of the country is joining this discussion.
You know, Senator, we've been engaged in a very robust immigration debate, since I came to Washington in 2005. It hasn't gone away, but I feel like now for the first time, the tide has finally turned in Republicans' favor, where the public is so fed up with watching so many people come to our country and take advantage of all the great things that we have to offer. So what's your thinking how this frames for the 2016 election when reporters confront candidates and say, aren't these terms anchor babies disparaging? What do you think the right answer is, and should we keep the gas on the pedal here?
Well, I think the idea is what makes Donald Trump so attractive is he's not taking the bait from the reporters that somehow another terms that are widely used or discussions that ordinary Americans are having about the problems of this country are not allowed to be talked about. When in fact these are serious issues. This is a serious issue about whether people who come to this country should illegally, if they have a child here, should be able to say, well, I have an American citizen, and now you can't separate them. It creates this sense of the problem is that we need to focus only on the parents and children who are here in cases legally, in some cases illegally, and that is the center of the debate. When the bottom line is the center of the debate should be, how does this affect America? How are Americans being affected by this? It's all turned around to it's as if someone, as I mentioned yesterday when I talked to the National Press Club, if a parent breaks a law in order to feed their family, the focus shouldn't be on, how terrible is it that these people broke the law to feed their family. We need to focus on them and help them. No, they broke the law, and we need to. How does that affect society? How does it affect the people who are aggrieved by the fact that this law was broken?
You are a dyed-in-the-wool conservative. I've known you for a long time. I've watched you operate. There's probably no more conservative individual in America than you. I look at people like Ted Cruz. I look at other people who are running for this office for the presidency on the GOP side. There are a lot of good, solid, rock-ribbed conservatives running. Why are you all getting your heads danced on by this guy who at one point was a Democrat? We're not even sure when he became a Republican.
I think it's the reason I mentioned before. I think he's a personality that is out there saying we're not going to put up with the kind of political correctness that's being forced upon most Americans. That, as I said, you have Americans who have legitimate concerns about what's going on in this country, and they're pretty much told you're bigots, you're racist, your opinions are passé, and shouldn't even be able to have these concerns anymore. That the country has moved on, and you need to move on. And as Hillary Clinton said, you people with these deeply held convictions need to change your ideas. It's that dismissal of what people believe is right and not being able to be voiced. And I agree. I mean, Donald Trump, in many respects, is an imperfect vessel. But the bottom line is he's touched a tone here that I think people want to hear.
I get the sense that some people, not necessarily you, are waiting for the Donald Trump bubble to burst on its own. I don't think it's going to. I sense that he has some staying power, at least maybe through the fall. So going into the next CNN debate, how do you intend to take the focus off Donald Trump and put the focus on your agenda?
One of the things I learned 4 years ago is that a lot of things happen early in a presidential race, and believe it or not, it's still early in the race. We're still 5.5 months out. A lot of things are going to happen. The issues are going to come and go. Candidates are going to come and go, and some have staying power, some don't. And what you have to do as a candidate is just focus on trying to articulate your positive vision for the country, why you're the best person prepared to lead this country, and that you have what it takes to make a difference. And that's I think our strong suit. I go to Iowa, go to New Hampshire, go to these early primary states, talk to the voters who are actually going to vote, and shape this race more than national polls. And we've gotten great feedback because I've got the experience in Washington D.C. as Brian talked about. I mean, I've been an effective conservative, getting things done in Washington for a long, long time, and I've been out of Washington for 10 years, and now I have a little different perspective on how the rest of the world, and particularly the rest of America, looks at Washington and the changes that need to be made.
Looking at the other side of the equation, looking over at the Democrats and Hillary Clinton, your thoughts about this email scandal, which continues to be a story with new developments almost by the minute, it seems, in the last few days?
Well, this is a sad situation where you have the Clintons who believe that they are above the law and that laws don't apply to them, that they've been treated with such privilege for so long, and they have gotten away with so much of their activities that they don't think there's any consequences for them to have different rules to play by. And I think this was a situation where the different rules that she played by, that she didn't think she had to adhere to, have real national security implications, have implications that go to criminal activity. And I'm not surprised that she would act this way, but I'm hopeful that she'll be held accountable for acting this way. And that's really what the Congress has to be doing right now, is to making sure that she's held accountable. And now that the FBI is involved and some judges are involved, maybe we'll get to the truth.
Do you think she survives and becomes ultimately the nominee?
From the very beginning, I didn't think Hillary Clinton would be the nominee of this party, and if she is, I don't think they're going to win this election. And so I think she is a candidate that is so disconnected to ordinary people in America, to folks who have real life struggles and have they want someone who understands them, cares about them, and can connect to them, and I just don't think she does that.
All right. Well, Senator Rick Santorum, we wish you well, as we do all people who are running for office who come on this program. I appreciate you joining us here on Mornings from the Mall.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I enjoy listening to you every morning. Thank you.
All right, good. Thanks a lot. WMAL, it's where Washington comes to talk and where presidential candidates come to listen. Did you hear that? Listen every morning.